Hey, Colabcoaching here again. It's just some wise words of the week. Week number 4 of the Healing from Your Childhood series. So excited to get into this very last video of the series. I know it's bittersweet, but I hope you learned a lot. You could have kept going and going about this topic, but I feel like 4 weeks is a good time to just stop. But with that being said, doesn't mean we're ending on a sad note. We're ending on a highlight, a great note. So, without any further ado, the question/thought I have for you this week is when to let go of your childhood. When to let go of your childhood. Now, in all reality, we cannot let go of our childhood, but in this instance, sometimes it's better to let go of certain things that happen in our childhood, especially the childhood trauma. Now, as I said before, we cannot pretend as if whatever happened in our childhood didn't exist. We can't pretend like that situation didn't happen, no matter how bad it was, no matter how much hurt and pain you feel from that situation. It happened. We have to acknowledge that. But, and it's a big but, we do not have to let those emotions that happened to us then, with us now in the present, and be dragged along with us in the future. The best way to resolve all of that is to claim freedom for yourself. Claim freedom for yourself. Now, I'm a big proponent, I'm a big person on decision making and having a choice in life. Granted, the things that happened to you in your childhood and maybe some things that happen to you right now are not in your control. But what is in your control is how you react to those situations and how you let those situations continue to affect your life. I'm a big advocate for allowing yourself to choose the situations that you want to happen in your life the best way you can. As I said, sometimes you can't choose them. Sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. But for all the times you can choose those situations, you have to make a decision, or that decision will be made for you. Especially with trauma and childhood trauma. If you don't choose to make a decision on how you want to act and react after those situations happen, your emotions from those traumatic situations are going to decide for you. It's going to keep you in the hurt. It's going to keep you in the pain. It's going to keep you in the same cycle and reliving those situations over and over again. And it starts to affect your relationships. It starts to affect the way you treat people. It starts to affect how you live your life on a day-to-day basis. All these things can cause you to stop growing. Essentially, as I said a couple weeks ago, you may be an adult, a full-fledged adult, grown as much as you can, but emotionally you still may be a child because of the situation that happened in your childhood that was traumatic. It stopped you from growing emotionally and it's stunting your growth to be an adult emotionally. So we have to cut it. We have to end it. We have to separate ourselves from those emotions. Now, I'm going to break it down a little bit so that way it makes it a little bit easier, because I know it's easier said than done, especially with something as strong and powerful as a traumatic experience, because those emotions may be very heavy. But to cut it and make it a little bit simpler, easier for you, think about it this way. You are living your life and something happened to you. Boom. Yes, it hurt. Yes, it was terrible. Yes, you're reliving those moments in your head after that situation happened. Could have been something like a car crash. It could have been something as being abused and things of that nature, various ways of abuse. But the next step you have to take after you're grieving through that traumatic experience, because it's okay to grieve through that traumatic experience, is to make a decision. Decide for yourself. Do I want to continue to live in this pain, in this hurt, and let it consume the rest of my life? Or do I want to move forward, learning from that traumatic experience, how I do not want to be treated in the future, how I don't want to be put in those situations again, how I don't want to relive a situation similar to this going forward, because there's so much more for me to live and I have so much life ahead of me. The biggest thing is that you tend to stop growing once you think that that's all you have left. Again, I say it again. You tend to stop growing when you start to think that's all you have left. So all you are is that traumatic experience. All you are is that situation. That situation is not you. You lived through it. That situation does not define you. You lived through it. We have to remember that you do not your personality, your identity is not marked to a situation. You are living a life where you went through a situation. But we have to grow from that situation, learn from that situation, make sure that whatever lessons that we've learned from those situations, that we apply it to make sure that we don't go through those situations again, and then continue to live our lives and continue to love ourselves, to grow within ourselves, to be the best person we can be. Because I know you've seen it, and you may be that person watching the video now that you are living a life as if you feel stagnant, and it's not because of school or outside factors. It's more because of you cannot let go, or you choose not to let go, or you feel you can't let go of what happened to you in the past. And it's always playing a factor in the way you decide on the person that you want to be with, the way you decide on the people that you keep close to you, the way you decide on the type of environment you live in. And it starts to affect every aspect of your life. If you have children, the way you treat your children, the way you treat your parents, all these things can be pointed and pinpointed to a traumatic experience that happened to you in your past. But I'm here to say that that does not have to be you any longer. It does not have to be you after you watch this video, because there's so much life for you to live, and you're selling yourself short thinking that that's all there is to it. No, I'm here to say there's so much more. You have a big, huge journey ahead of you of healing, of growing, and becoming your best self, understanding how to love yourself, understanding what self-care means to you, understanding your love languages, understanding how you treat people, understanding who you are, your identity, and how you play a factor into this world that we live in. All these things are waiting for you on the other side. To get to the other side, you have to claim that freedom for yourself. Claiming freedom, freedom is a big word, but claiming freedom literally means is that you decide to be rid of a situation that happened that happened in the past and now is behind you. You are not living in the past. You are living for the present and hoping for the future. You cannot continue to be living in 2000 version of you, or 2001's version of you, or 1990, whatever year that traumatic situation happened. You are not living in that year anymore. You're living in 2021. You're living in a moment where we don't know what the future holds, but at least we can choose and decide what we don't want the future to hold to the best of our ability. So this is a acknowledgement to you right now in this moment that, hey, you are not your trauma. And if you haven't heard that before, I'm here to say it. You are not your trauma. You are not your situation. You are not what happened to you. Those situations happen to you. But what you are is a person that has the power and the control over the next decision and choice that you're going to make. Simple as that. So, to break it down very simply, when to let go of your childhood. The best time to let go of your childhood is today, especially if you went through a traumatic experience. You have lived through it. You are not that situation. You are not what happened to you. You are a person that had an experience, and now it's time for you to learn from that experience, grow from that experience, heal from that experience, and continue to be the best person you can be. You have so much ahead of you in your journey called life, and you do not want to be that person that has stopped growing because you decided to live in the year that you have experienced that trauma. There's so much more ahead of you, and I'm here to say that you do not have to live that way. If no one has ever told you that, you do not have to live that way. You do not have to live with those emotions anymore. Claim that freedom for yourself. You have a decision and the choice to claim that freedom for yourself. Choose you. Choose your present self. Choose your future and allow it to flourish to the best of your ability. Simple as that. So, if you're struggling with this, I want you to just realize that, hey, this happened, but I'm not this situation. This happened, and this is not the end of me. I went through trauma through my childhood, but I am able to recover from it if I allow myself to recover from it. I'm not holding on to these emotions anymore. I'm looking forward to the decision that I get to make to live my life going forward. No matter what happened to me, I have that choice. No one else does. And that trauma that happened in my childhood was an experience, and now it's time for me to grow beyond it. Simple as that. So, if you're that person looking at me right now that needs help, with that childhood trauma, that's ready to let go to my website, yourcolabcoach.com. Fill out that relationship checklist so you can see what particular things that you need help with, to specify and make it a little bit easier on yourself. And also sign up for that free 15-minute coaching session so we can talk about anything you want to talk about. I'm here to help you. In the meantime, share this with anyone that's struggling with their childhood trauma, or you see that they're struggling with what happened in their childhood and they need help. I'm here to help. Follow me on Facebook, Collab Coaching, Instagram, Collab Coaching. All my videos and this series is going to be on YouTube. Just type in Collab Coaching, like and subscribe so you don't miss on the next series that's going to start next week. Brand new series. So excited about that. And in the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and be safe out there. Have a wonderful day.